How do guys, and welcome back to Underdog Painting. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how I go about painting Ragnar blackmane. So we've built and primed the model, and now all we're doing is going around the model picking out any black parts. So that's the joints, the hair, one of the shoulder pads, and anything else that we can see that we want to paint black. Now I'm using game colour black here, but black's black. The only thing I do say about this is this has a kind of shiny look to it once it's dried, so try not to use that one if you don't want a shiny looking black. So next is painting the leather part. So we've got the pouches on the side and also the dead wolf, basically, that's on his shoulder and going down his cape. So just base coat them with Mornfang brown. So next up is the gold part. So we're going to use Retributor armour and go around all the gold parts. So we've got the shoulder pad trim, we've got the two wolf heads that are on his backpack, and he's got loads of little like runes are they called, that are like embedded in his armour. So we just base coat them with Retributor armour. Make sure you get a nice coverage on here, maybe 2 to 3 coats, just thin down. Now next up is the silver part, so we just base coat all these with lead belcher. So he's got some chains that is hanging off his chest, and he's got some chains that are hanging on the back of his cloak, and also the teeth of his huge, massive chopper sword thing. So next up we are going to tackle the cloak. So underneath we're going to paint this with corn red. Now what I tend to do with this is water it down a little bit more than I would usually, and do 2 to 3 coats. And also you'll see that I'm only painting in one direction, that's so you can get a nice smooth finish to it and you don't get no brush strokes in it. So what I do as well is I base coat the sword with Avalanche Sunset, and I've base coated his face with Bugman's Glow. Then after they're been base coated, I wash the full model with Nuln Oil. Make sure you get into all them nooks and crannies. If you get some pooling, it's not such a big deal because we are going to go back over in a minute. But yeah, just work that Nuln Oil into all of the model. So guys, I'm going to do a quick shout out as well to Otherverse Hobby Hangouts on Facebook. So if you're not a member, please go over and become one. I will leave a link in the description below. They also have a YouTube channel called Otherverse Games and Hobbies. And again, it's just a really, really cool channel. So please go subscribe to it. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below. Go and show some support. The guy's got some serious cool stuff going on. So definitely go check him out and give him some love. So tell him Bazza sent you. So we're now painting the cloak. So we've painted it with corn red and washed the full model. So we've waited for that to dry, and now we're going back over with corn red, leaving the Nuln Oil wash in the recesses, just so it gives that nice little bit of shadow. And we're taking our time just to follow the contours of the cloak itself, making sure we don't get any of that corn red on the brown or anything like that. But yeah, it's a pretty easy step to do. Just make sure you don't get the paint on another colour. That's literally it. So then what we do is we get a bit of Mephiston red on the edge and we just paint it on, almost like a wet dry brush, if that makes sense, like an overbrush kind of thing, just so we have a little bit of highlight on the edge of the cloak. Next up is painting the armour. So it's that dirty colour at the moment because of all the wash, so we are painting back over with Mechanica Standard Grey. So take your time. This is quite a long, should we say, boring step, but you know, it needs doing. So we're just going around the full model again, just tidying up with Mechanica Standard Grey, leaving the shadows, that null and oil colour. Then once that's done, an even more boring step, and that is to edge highlight the full model with Dawnstone. Use the smallest brush you can find or that you're comfortable with. Make sure it's got a nice point on it, and make sure you water your paint down correctly so it flows off the brush. And obviously if you make a mistake, just go back over with the original Dawnstone, the original Mechanica Standard Grey, and job is a good one. So we painted that sword yellow to begin with. Like I said, it's had the wash over it, so now we're just reapplying the Avalanche Sunset Yellow just over the top. Again, just leaving the recesses, and it does have some type of inscription or runes down the centre of the sword, so we're just leaving them as well. So again, use the smallest brush that you're comfortable using, and brace yourself. And then once you've base coated that back in, just do a little highlight along the edges with some Uriel yellow, and then you're good to go. So now we're going to paint the face. So it's already been painted with Bugman's Glow, but we're going to go back over it again and just pick up some of the details and leave the recesses with the shadow. But then we're going to do 50-50 mix of that Bugman's Glow and Ragnar Flesh, just to give it a little bit more of a highlight. So what I tend to do is just the top of the nose, the eyebrows, the cheek and the jawline. Again, you could spend ages on faces, but again, this is literally just for the tabletop. So as long as it looks good from a distance, we're winning. And then all we do is we go over the teeth with some Shabti bone and just pick them out. Now there is a few. There's someone is chain necklace, someone is ankle, someone is wrist. But yeah, just go around and pick them out. Now when you're obviously playing, you're looking down, so you don't really have to paint the full thing. Just paint the top parts of all these teeth. So now we're coming onto the fur, and basically all we're doing is doing a little bit of dry brush. It has that texture already on the model, so we're just dry brushing that with a bit of Steel Legion drab. You can go a little bit extra, obviously, and do a bit of Ragnar Flesh as well. But yeah, just do a little bit of dry brush all over there, picking out all the fur. And this is what the model should look like once it's done, once you've based it and put your snow effects and stuff. Alright guys, I hope you've liked what you've seen today. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.